Nondalol says PSC can't take the president to court. Exxon declares 2 more discoveries. Man caught on tape stealing fried rice. And fighting vaccine hesitancy, why reward is better than punishment. I am Noriko Bulford, and welcome to tonight's edition of Uncut News. Nondalol has asked the High Court to take the president's name off of the constitutional action filed by the Police Service Commission, as the president is immune from prosecution. According to Article 89 of the Constitution, all actions brought against the president should only name the Attorney General. According to Nondalol, the law is clear that no action, whether criminal or civil, shall be instituted against the president while he holds the office of head of state. As such, he will be representing him in court. In 2013, Colin Harding accused Constable Devon Singh of violating him with a police baton. But on Tuesday, he was ordered to pay $1 million to the Attorney General and $1 million to Constable Singh after the case was dismissed in the High Court. Harding was a no-show for the second time, and as such, the case was dismissed. The sum of $1 million was awarded to each plaintiff. In February of this year, Harding didn't show up for his court date then. As such, he was ordered to pay $150,000 by July 16th. But since he didn't pay in time, nor did he show up in court, the costs were increased. This morning, the Minister of Natural Resources announced Exxon's 21st and 22nd offshore oil discovery at the Whiptail 1 and Whiptail 2 wells within the East Arbor block. The discoveries will add to the previously announced gross discovered recoverable resource estimate for the block, which is currently estimated to be over 9 billion oil equivalent barrels, which to me sounds like it's time to renegotiate that contract. Scamming Yuri and his wife Atika were no-shows in court after claiming through their lawyer that they had the Rona. Everyone is using the Rona as an excuse, I told you. Anyway, their absence didn't stop the cops from slapping them with an additional 60 charges for conspiracy to defraud in connection with his Bitcoin Forex Ponzi scheme or whatever it is. Their attorney produced 2 medical certificates claiming that they both tested positive for the Rona. However, the investigators have suspicions that they may be bogus documents. As such, the cops are now investigating the 2 for the authenticity of the medical certificates. Are you one of the chosen few that benefits from duty-free? If yes, then check out these amazing vehicles that just arrived at Best Buy Auto Sales. This 2016 Toyota Harrier Grand Sport Edition, this 2014 Range Rover Evoque, and this 2016 Lexus RX 200T are all on sale. They are all fully loaded and come with all modern features. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit their showrooms at Lot 171 Peterborough Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell them Noriko sent you to get in on a sweet deal. This morning, Christopher Jones and his ilk held a protest at Coffee Square to register the coalition's disapproval of the PVP's handling of the country. According to them, corruption, nepotism, and racism have become the name of the game under this government, as if that didn't exist before. Ah! They also had problems with the uniforms our nation's Olympic athletes wore this year, with one demonstrator blaming the ugly red costumes for Guyana's non-winning of medals. All I can say is that Team Guyana tried their best out there and I'm proud of them for it, but they deserve to at least be there in something stylish. On Tuesday, the Giftland Mall announced that all unvaccinated workers will have to produce a weekly Rona test showing their status. According to a release from the mall, the cost of the test will have to be paid by the employee. However, Gordon Mosley recently brought up the fact that the occupational health and safety laws of this country require employers to pay for medical tests for their employees. While some lawyers claim that this would be exempted as we are in a time of emergency. Nevertheless, while it is not mandatory for people to get the vaccines, the Ministry of Health and others have been encouraging people to get vaccinated. But Giftland is just the latest of employers who have decided to pressure poor people instead of encourage them to take the short. Don't miss the grand 50% off sale and get a free 1-month Digicel Prime bundle plan available at City Mall, Starbucks Square, Regent and Light Street, Massey Turkine, and Massey Providence. Shop early, limited stocks available. It's now time for today's Rona Report. Today, the nation recorded 81 new cases. There are now 533 persons dead, 11 persons in the ICU, 857 persons in home isolation, and the total number of confirmed cases around the nation now stands at 22,315. So please, people, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your nose and mouth and mask up before you leave the house. When you do leave home, try to avoid enclosed spaces and large crowds, and remember to give 6 feet of space between you and others. The British government will be donating 84,800 AstraZeneca vaccines to Guyana to help boost the nation's vaccination effort. The bilateral agreement between the UK and Guyana was signed today by the High Commissioner Jane Miller and the Health Ministry's Permanent Secretary Malcolm Watkins. The doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine will be arriving on the 2nd of August. This set of foolishness you see on your screen was brought to us courtesy of Guyana Daily News, our nation's newest tabloid. According to their Facebook page, this man out in Skeldon was caught stealing a bag of chicken fried rice off of an unattended bicycle. While he was caught on tape, there's no word from the police whether the food fiend has been found. Oh, I know, it's silly, but we can't be all doom and gloom here all the time. You hear, Mr. Truck Owner. A great place to get high-quality truck parts and engine spares for low prices is Powered Automotive. They stock spares for DAF, Freightliner, Mach, International, and all models of Cummins engines. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles or call them on 697-0171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Real thing. And now for our stupid news of the day. This one is a long one, but I think it needs to be said. You know what I think is stupid? This monkey-see, monkey-do attitude that exists amongst the political and business class in this country. If the ABC countries do it, we must too. But they only want to adopt the things that make us worse off, like the private sector's recent obsession with using harsh punitive measures to get people to take the vaccine, which is honestly stupid if you ask me. Now, don't get me wrong. I personally believe that the risk outweighs the benefits when it comes to the shot, and everyone should get it when they feel that they are comfortable with making the informed decision. Nevertheless, this doesn't exclude the fact that the best defense against the Rona is a healthy immune system, which you should have already been working on, period, whether, vaccine or not. However, dozens of studies have shown that when changing the behavior of adults, positive reinforcement is far more effective than punishment. But I also see it as cruel. Local employers using harsh coercive measures to fight vaccine hesitancy amongst their employees is like burning your pickney with a cigarette to get him to eat his Corilla. Yes, it'll get him to eat, but come on, that's effed up, and he'll probably need therapy years later. Instead, just sit him down. Ask him why he doesn't want to eat Corilla. Explain why it's good for him. Show him the benefits for good little boys who eat their greens, and then ask him if he still doesn't want to eat it. Then, what reasonable request will make him change his mind? If a child can understand this, then surely an adult could when given the proper information. Maybe that's foreign to some of y'all because your parents never took time to talk to you instead of beat you whenever you ask them a question. Worse yet, everyone has seemed to have forgotten that this isn't America. The US has made getting a vaccine easier than buying a beer. In fact, some bars will even give you a free beer for a shot. But look at us. Guyana is still undergoing a vaccine shortage. Some people don't want to get a shot now because there's no promise that the second doses will be here in time. Also, vaccination centers aren't on every street corner and 24-hour pharmacy like it is over there. Most people in this country don't even have a car. So how will they even get to the place in time if they have a 9-to-5 job and, the centers actually close at 4:30 p.m. I bet you didn't even know that. Also, most people aren't even against taking the vaccine in this country. And if they are against it, it's probably because some big auntie from New York filled their head with some stupidness with some WhatsApp message saying the vaccine will make your birdie fall off or it'll make your auntie man or something. Just dispel it with cold, hard facts. You'll always attract more flies with honey than vinegar. Now, this isn't to say that some people won't listen. But that's okay, because you don't need everyone. Just about 80% of the people to take the vaccine to reach herd immunity. And if half of the adult population has already gotten their first shot, it sounds like we're already halfway there. That is assuming that they'll come back and get their second shot. Oh yeah, and also at the end of the day, whether you take the vaccine or not, you still better stay 6 feet away from me. Have a business and need access to more Goondu balls? Register it on one of the fastest growing business directories in Guyana. Sign up for free on snap.gy and get your business listed today. And yes, you heard me right, it's absolutely free. Get listed today on snap.gy. Moving on to our Uncut News Views poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in the nation, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. So you give your responses in the comments and we'll read the best ones in the following episode. Yes, today's question was, how do you feel about Schumann's comments? Mr. Sam said, so if I understand correctly, his advice to government is discriminate against the people you were employed to serve. Real donkey logics, but is a politician in Guyana. I expect better, but to say I'm surprised would be a blatant lie. Fortunately, I agree. Don Raj Mohan said, no one can force you to do what you don't want to do. Mr. Schumann needs to respect others' rights. Sad, greed and power will definitely create a negative effect. And Hallelujah said, Schumann's comment is definitely biased. What happens to those who have real reasons for not taking the vaccine? Are you going to deny them housing? He needs to rethink before making such callous suggestions. So for tonight's question, how do you feel about the concept of presidential immunity? Should it stay or should it go? I'll tell you how I feel about it tomorrow. But tonight I want to hear from you. So think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight. Check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Yuri Bulford saying good night, folks. Hey, Uncut News viewers, thanks for watching. You can subscribe by clicking on this button over here, or click over there for more news. You can also drop a comment to let me know if you've made it to the end of the video. Goodbye for now!